In a time when the world feels further apart, we need to draw closer together. Helping those who suffer from eating disorders led to a passion for helping anyone who wants to improve their mental health. It's become a core part of who I am. As a mental health, emotional...
That's our good friend and TMS regular contributor, Sophie Grégoire Trudeau, who is joining us in studio today to talk about her deeply personal new memoir that we talked about earlier in the week, Closer Together. Sophie, it's so good to have you in studio.
Finally face to face.
Yes, she is here in studio.
I need this.
And how did I miss you last night? Sophie, as we mentioned at the top of the show, was at Bibliobash last night because she's one of our celebrated authors at the event. And I don't know how, it's such a huge event. I can't believe I missed you.
And I looked for you, just so you know. I'm like, where is she? All good.
Well, here we are.
Yes.
Here we are. And update, as we mentioned at the top of the show, since we spoke to you on the day of the launch, which was Wednesday.
Yes.
Since then, 3 days later, it's now #1 in self-help on Amazon.
What?
How does that feel?
What? Did I not? I'm going to cry. Is this for real?
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Are we telling you this for the first time?
Of course. You know, my allies for 20 years and all the people behind this show who I've been friends with since my days at eTalk. This is a really special moment for me to live it with all of you. Thank you, gang. Thank you, gang.
All right, well, congratulations. And maybe give everybody a glimpse into what they can expect in this new memoir. What are
only gossip, just gossip.
Okay, good.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
So no, this book is my heart. It's my soul. It's part of my story. You know, I shared many years ago that I was struggling from an eating disorder 20 years ago. It changed my life path. It gave me a sense of congruence, of integrity. And now it's my turn to, at every chapter, tell you a little bit more about my mental health journey. But then, after being 20 years on the mental health path, integrating all the incredible experts that I've been in touch with, and not keep all this for me, but to give it to the world and to other people so they can better know themselves. And emotional leadership, you know, what does that mean? We talk about self-help all the time. It means taking a breath when you don't want to. It means calming your nervous system when you don't think you know how, but you do know how, and it's simple. It's about resolving a conflict when you feel overwhelmed and you just kind of want to go to bed and just leave it. It's about feeling safe and secure within yourself. And when we feel secure in ourselves, all human beings, we are less threatened by the difference of others. Think about that in the state of the world right now. So if we practice this within our own lives and within our own homes, in our own relationships, we de-dramatize a little bit of what we're going through. And we're raising children. We're mentors to young people. We don't want to teach them that the way you begin something with curiosity, compassion, passion, and interest should be the same way you end something. And I've lived that in my life as well. And I think that there's so much more emotional knowledge and relational maturity that we could gain in order to feel, you know, calmer in our lives. But when we live in a society where we don't even feel worthy of rest, when rest is the only way the mind and the body make sense of life, we understand how many people on this planet are feeling, and especially mothers, depleted, overwhelmed, tired, sleep disturbances, insomnia. Mental health is the #1 cause of absenteeism at work. So we're dealing with a crisis, and we have to look at our truth the way it is.
Being a mother is a huge component in your life. And I wanted to mention your acknowledgement in this book. And you've said that you before, in the past, haven't looked at acknowledgements all that much. You've glanced by them. But then you're like, no. Now it actually stop and take a look at the acknowledgement, because it says a lot about the authors.
Did you read the end first, Caroline?
You know, well. But I want to get I don't want to mess this up, so I want to get this right. So you say, to my family and kids, Xavier, Ella Grace, Hadrian, you are my well of love, my source of inspiration now and forever. To Justin, sharing life, parenting, and raising incredible kids together has been the most beautiful adventure. We will always navigate the waters of our bond with respect, care, friendship, and love. Tell us about the thought process in writing that note to them.
It was a tear process. Lower lip trembling. When it comes to thinking the tightest circle of love that is with you every single day, through all the chaos, through all the messiness, we're a family like every other family, it's very touching. Because I want to make sure I leave my kids not only in love with life as I am, but to have self-respect and to not be threatened by the difference of others and to see that the human potential is greater than anything else. And we cannot, it is our responsibility to not leave our arms down facing the darker forces and the crises that we're facing as a humanity. And emotional leadership holds these democracies and this peace within us and outside in the world together. So when I wrote this book, it wasn't just, oh, I'm going to tell my story and give advice to people. Like, no, who do I think I am? You can only teach by experience and by what you've been through. So that's part of my story in the book. But the science is accessible, and it's protecting the truth in a way, because we live in a society with social media where the truth is constantly in distortion, and we just get little glimpses here and there. We don't understand the full picture. That's dangerous. It's dangerous when we get to the voting booth. It's dangerous when we're trying to, challenge and kind of like regulate our relationships. And whether it's in our schools, in our communities, at work, more emotional leadership means perspective and discernment. And we're moving at a really rapid pace. And if we don't slow down to actually look at our own trauma, whether it's big or small, and trauma is not only the big bad thing that happened to you, which is very common, unfortunately, but also the chronic little stresses that are always in your life. And you're like, nah, it's okay, I'll let it pass by. And then your body's like, I can't do this anymore. Mm-hmm. And mothers, most of the time, are holding the whole emotional load of their families together, and they're depleted. And I'm saying this, but knowing that there's extraordinary men and allies out there who are helping out, but we need to encourage that even more.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask you as well, I mean, we've come to know you as being somebody who's very candid. You're very candid in this book. You open up about a number of facets of your life, including your parents' separation as well. And just wondering, I mean, that's something that a lot of families can relate to. Did that early experience, did that inform you at all or affect how you dealt with your own situation?
Yeah, I think as an only child, I was trying to save my mom from my dad from himself, my parents from each other. And they're incredible human beings, don't get me wrong. But as an only child, and you could be in a big family too and internalize it the same way. But I put so much pressure on myself to have that cape to save them that it's not something a child should be doing, right? So I think there's so much to be learned through relationships. I think it's Michael J. Fox who said, we're only as sick as our secrets. When we hold secrets within ourselves and we're not willing to truly express our desires, our needs, our longings for emotional nourishment, we suffer, and the people around us suffer. And human connection and a lack of human connection, an unhealthy connection, can traumatize a human being. But the beautiful irony is that human connection can heal it. And we're meant to be like we are right now, even in a studio, face-to-face, reassuring. You're picking up in 100 millisecond on my facial expressions. We're meant to be in contact as a species. Mm-hmm.
You have a book launch tonight.
I do.
All right, and Canadians are going to be able to come out and meet you and talk about the book. Tell us about the event tonight.
So it's a conversation on stage, and it's going to be a book signing. We'll be able to meet. It's at Indigo the Well. And yeah, I can't wait to get, no pun intended, but it's not a coincidence that I chose the title Closer Together. And I can't wait to meet people on the path, because we're all one trauma away from each other. It takes one big trauma to change your mind, the way you interact with yourself, or a series of little traumas. And there you go, we realize that we should never judge each other's suffering, ever.
All right. Well, listen, for more information and ticket information, you can go to SophieGrégoireTrudeau.com/events. Sophie, congratulations on the book, and so good to see you this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks
so much love to everybody.